And let's bring you the latest at 7 o'clock. Now, the race for the next president of the United States of America is in full swing. And counting is currently underway across much of the United States, with the focus on a number of key battleground states. And one of the most important, of course, being Florida, which is crucial for President Donald Trump if he is to remain in the White House. And so far, it has been a tight race. Democratic challenger Joe Biden leads with 192 electoral votes to Trump's 114. That was as of 6:43 a.m. local time. And when I say local time, I mean here in South Africa at Central African time. But for more on these elections, we cross live now to our U.S. correspondent, Sherwin Bryce-Pease, who is there for us as America decides. Sherwin, good morning once more. So let's just start with the latest update. Any major swings yet in those battleground states, or still too early to call?
Yeah, we'll talk about Florida in a second, Sakina, but let me touch on a number of key swing states that have now been called. One that has just been called by NBC News is the state of Ohio. 18 electoral college votes there. The state of Ohio, NBC calling that for President Donald Trump. The state of Arizona, Fox News is calling that for Joe Biden, and that's a very interesting state. You know, that's the state that John McCain, the late former Republican senator, represented for over 30 years and has not voted for a Democratic nominee since Bill Clinton in 1996. So a bit of a record-breaking move there for Joe Biden in terms of that race in Arizona. But of course, as you correctly point out, we are still waiting for Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and the other gray areas on the map. And those are the swing states that are going to determine who reaches the 270 electoral college votes needed to win the presidency. But in terms of sentiment, Sakina, I think it's fair to say that President Trump is exceeding expectations in terms of the poll numbers that preceded Election Day and election results night here in the United States. Some other news for you. The House, the Democratic-controlled House, will stay with the Democrats. That's the prediction in terms of controlling the two houses of Congress. Still too early to call in terms of who will control the must-win Senate for both parties here. But Democrats have picked up 2 seats so far. There's a prediction that Mark Kelly will pick up a Republican-held seat in that state of Arizona. So Arizona coming through for Democrats in a very big way tonight. Mark Kelly picking up one of those Democratic seats. Another Democratic seat to be picked up is in the state of Colorado, which neighbors Arizona over there. That's another Democratic pickup. But unfortunately for Democrats, if you're a Democrat, they've lost the seat that they held for 2 years after a special election in the state of Alabama. So they've won 2, lost 1, and they need to have a net gain of 4 seats to regain control of the Republican-held Senate. An interesting race that we were also watching was Lindsey Graham in South Carolina. Lindsey Graham, of course, the chairperson of the Senate Judiciary Committee, the senator that very famously said in 2016 that you could quote his words back to him in terms of not seating a Supreme Court justice during an election year. Of course, that all went out of the window when Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed on the 18th of September. And of course, as we saw a few weeks later, the subsequent installation of Amy Coney Barrett, really making the conservative majority from 5 to a 6-3 majority on the court. And many felt there might have been some retribution that he would face in this election. That, of course, not borne out by the results tonight. Lindsey Graham winning his re-election in South Carolina, Sakina.
And of course, that's another interesting race that we're keeping an eye on, deciding which political party controls the U.S. Congress for the next 2 years, Sherwin. And again, Democrats narrowly favored to win that. But are we able to see any clear prediction emerging at this particular stage?
Well, so they'll retain the House of Representatives. They have that already. They swept back into victory in a blue wave in 2018 when Nancy Pelosi became, the first woman to be re-elected to the speakership in the history of the United States Congress. We're also, as I mentioned, there was a close eye on the state of Arizona and Colorado. Those have now gone for the Democrats. We're also watching a very interesting race in the state of Maine. Susan Collins, who who was so heavily criticized for her affirmative vote of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who faced a number of sexual allegations against him during his Senate confirmation hearing in 2018. She's up again in a very tough race in the state of Maine. We're also watching a very close Senate race in the state of North Carolina. The Democrat there still has the edge and could beat the Republican incumbent in the state of North Carolina. And then there's another one in the state of Iowa. There's a Republican incumbent there that Democrats are very focused on. So the margins are very slim here. You'll remember, Sakina, that the Republicans have a 53 to 47 seat majority in the United States Senate. And why is the Senate so important? Because when it comes to appointing Supreme Court justices that have so much influence in terms of policy in the United States, in affirming or rejecting policy, these are lifetime appointments. Senators have a lot of power, and having control of the Senate gives a certain party a sway in terms of how the government goes. Currently, Republicans have the White House and the Senate. Democrats hoping to get all three of those branches of government, but still too early to be able to definitively say how the night will go.
Let's park it there for now. Thank you so much, Sherwin Bryce-Pease, tracking that election for us as America decides. And we'll be in touch with him throughout the morning.